slipping into a secondary little street, Jesus can go without any hindrance to a house which he enters calling, "Judas, Judas." Nobody replies. "He went up there, Master. We can go home as well. I will put here the garments of Judas, of Simon, and of your brother James. And then I will put those of Simon Peter, Andrew, Thomas and Philip in Anna's house." They do so, and I realise that in order to make room for the women disciples, the apostles, if not all of them, at least part of them, have spread out in other houses. As they have now got rid of all the garments, they go towards the house of Mary of Jacob, talking to each other, and they go in through the kitchen garden little gate, which is always left ajar. The house is silent and empty. John sees a pitcher full of water laid on the floor, and probably thinking that the old lady had put it there before being called to assist the woman in childbed, he picks it up and goes towards a room that is closed. Jesus loiters in the corridor, taking off his mantle and folding it with his customary care before putting it on the chest in the vestibule. John opens the door and utters, "Ah!" almost in terror. He drops the pitcher and covers his eyes with his hands, bending as if to grow smaller, to disappear, not to see. From the room comes the noise of coins falling on the floor, tinkling. Jesus is already at the door. It took me longer to describe the scene than it took him to arrive. He vehemently pushes aside John, who moans, "Away, go away." He opens the door that was ajar and goes in. It is the room where they take their meals, now that the women are there. In it, there are two old coffers reinforced with iron fittings, and in front of one of them, opposite the door, there is Judas, livid, his eyes full of anger and dismay at the same time, with a bag in his hands. The coffer is open. There are coins on the floor, and more fall on it from the open bag, half inclined on the edge of the coffer. Everything testifies in a manner that leaves no doubt to what was happening. Judas entered the house. He opened the coffer and stole. He was stealing. No one speaks. No one moves. But it is worse than if they all shouted and rushed at one another. 3 statues. Judas the demon, Jesus the judge, John terrorized by the revelation of his companion's baseness. The hand of Judas holding the bag trembles, and the coins in it tinkle with a dull sound. John is trembling from head to foot, and although he still has his hands pressed against his mouth, his teeth are chattering, while his frightened eyes look more at Jesus than at Judas. Jesus does not quiver. He is straight and glacial, so stiff as to be glacial. At last he takes a step. He makes a gesture and utters one word. A step towards Judas. A gesture to make a sign to John to withdraw. A word, go. But John is afraid and moans, "No, no, don't send me away. Let me stay here. I will not say anything, but leave me here with you. Go away. Be not afraid. Close all the doors. And if anybody comes, whoever it may be, even my mother. Do not let them come here. Go. Obey. Lord, John is so entreating and broken-hearted that he seems to be the guilty one. Go, I tell you. Nothing will happen. Go. And Jesus moderates his order by laying his hand on the head of his favourite and caressing it. And I now see that his hand is trembling. And John feels that it is trembling and takes it and kisses it with a sob that says so many things. He goes out.